Welcome back to MorningLine. I'm Matthew Torres with Professor Thomas Schwartz from Vanderbilt University, political science and history professor, as we discuss the impeachment inquiry that happened yesterday with the two diplomats testifying, the diplomats with the Ukraine to the U.S. So from what you heard yesterday, do you think there is enough to impeach the president?
I think that there is enough, as far as the Democrats view it, to indict the president on abuse of power. Now, I think if Ukraine alone were the issue, I would have some doubts about that. I think in a way this is connected, of course, to the Democrats' view that this entire administration has been acting in ways, and many of the things it's done have been illegitimate. So I think Democrats tend to view the totality of Trump's behavior, the Ukraine, as a tipping point. There'll be enough to impeach. There will not be enough, at least my own view right now is there's not enough to sway substantial enough Republicans to break with the president. At least I don't see that yet.
At least not for now.
All
right, let's go to the lines. Hey, Ed, thanks for calling. What is your question?
Okay, my question is this. In the Sixth Amendment to the Constitution, which has to do with criminal prosecutions and where it can be had, it plainly says to be confronted with the witnesses against him, which means the person that accused him, he or she has to be brought out in the public. Now, the Democrats right now are trying to hide that whistleblower. Now, can right now they don't, that guy that's running the show up there, that knucklehead, in them eyes, you can tell when he's lying because his eyes change. Now, will the Republicans finally be able to have him come out there under the Sixth Amendment of the Constitution, or are they going to have to wait until if they vote to impeach, and then he or she has to be brought out to confront the president when they impeach him in the Senate, or try to?
Okay. Sorry about that.
No.
Good question. As far as the Sixth Amendment, I think there is a difference.
Yes, there is a difference because basically this is, impeachment is not technically a criminal prosecution. Impeachment is really what the Congress wants to make it. There's no requirement, for example, that witnesses be identified or come out. The Republicans are making this point because they do think that the whistleblower had political ties that lent a certain bias to his, and it looks like, actually, as some people know, you can go on the web and you can find that some conservative websites have identified the whistleblower, and it's one of the most open secrets out there. So I don't think, I think Republicans will make this point. Ultimately, I have a feeling the whistleblower's name will come out at some point, simply because it's already out there. But that said, I don't think they can operate under any rules they want, and effectively the Democratic House can pretty much dictate what happens. Now, if it goes to the Senate, you may find some of the Republicans there are asking to do this, and they have a majority there, so they might be able to change the rules.
Since it's not a criminal investigation.
Not a criminal investigation.
Yeah. As far as the nature of a whistleblower, how does that go about? All right, someone spills all this information, and what kind of, I guess, rights, and is there a protection?
Supposedly there is this protection that a whistleblower is not identified if they don't choose to do that. That's the whole point, that they have to be able to be protected. We have seen this in circumstances, for example, of cost overruns in the Defense Department, someone signaling that areas where they might have gotten into trouble. I mean, the whistleblower idea is that there should be an accountability, and that accountability of officials sometimes is compromised by the fact that there'll be retaliation. And so the argument here is that the whistleblower needs protection because there might be retaliation against them.
Being a history professor, what other cases can you remember where the whistleblower was such a big entity of the actual...
Well, in Watergate there was what we call Deep Throat, who was not exactly a whistleblower, but whose information helped the Washington Post reporters get at some of the circumstances involved with Watergate. And we later learned that whistleblower was the deputy director in the FBI, Mark Felt. So it did turn out it was a high official who was afraid of the circumstances in that, or who at least did not want him to be identified. So.
All right, let's go back to the lines. Cindy, good morning. Thanks for calling. What's your question?
Hello?
Hey, Cindy, good morning.
Hey, what's up, Taurus? Love you. I love to watch you on the news.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thanks for calling.
It's good to have you back. Anyway, what I was going to say is this only is making me stronger with Trump as a supporter and all the other supporters that I know. Because if you think about it, I heard from a friend or a friend or a friend, and then they had told me it was one of my aides of an aide of an aide. Any of that, okay, I don't want to know that. Okay, I want to hear it out of your mouth. Did you hear it? No. Well, no. No. Okay, so you blew it. You blew it with your main people, witnesses, and you're going around a bunch of nothing and crap and not doing anything for this country. President Trump has been doing it all on his own. Okay, so get to the facts. I know, for instance, that everybody's phone record, even my cell phone, even my house phone, when you can subpoena the records of every call going out and coming in. And I know it because I have done it with my own phone. I did. I got it because I had the right to. It was my telephone. Whether it was I let you use it, anyone use it, I had that right. So, how come you only talked about these quotes when there was no there after this stupid Mueller investigation blew up in your face? And another thing, I want to know about them daggum phone calls, and the other transcript is coming out today with the phone call. So if he's willing to put them all out, how come the little squeakers aren't? You know why? Because there's nothing. All it is, you hate the President of the United States. And now, thank God, now all the Democrats are turning against you. They're turning against them, and they're jumping on board because we don't want to take this. When you won't even run your cities, you're letting a homeless flock anywhere, and you don't do nothing, but you call yourself a congressman.
Right.
Well, I thank God for Scott Deserle and Marsha Blackburn, because we get things done in Tennessee and will continue to be that way.
Well, Cindy, thank you for your call. I know she kind of divulged a lot of information there. Your thoughts?
Well, this is the issue, is in a way, is that the impeachment thing does not seem to be moving what they talk about, moving the dial or moving the narrative in any way, in the sense that people who support President Trump aren't really moved by this testimony. It doesn't change their sense that Trump has been doing what they want him to do and in the White House. And so in a way, one of the biggest tasks of the Democrats is to try to figure out how to convince people that this is as serious and as important as it is, when in a way most Trump supporters are quite happy with his performance.
Yeah. All right, let's go now to Debbie. Debbie, you're still there? What's your question or comment?
Oh, okay, thank you. Yes. Well, one, I want something verified first. I was with understanding that there was, I don't know if it was a whistleblower or who, listened in on the conversation between Trump and Ukraine. Well, did Trump know about this, or was he spying? Was he even supposed to be listening in? I know they record conversations and stuff, but I was understanding he said he listened from another room or from his ear and heard the president's side, blah, blah, blah. Second thing, I believe that a lot of this mess would stop if Congress and House, judicial system, and everybody was limited like the president is on how long they can serve. I believe that, and I believe that they should be born in America and not come from another country. I think they need to be born in America, raised in America. I don't care. I'm not talking religion here. I'm talking about patriotism here, because it seems like that a lot of stuff that's going on is problems with religion and stuff of that nature. Trump, you know what he did for the Israel? That is part of prophecy, Bible prophecy. And it's not going to get any better down the road for any of us. It's going to get worse. They're going to start hunting down all kinds of people. It's not just religion, it's everybody. If we turn socialist, and I guarantee you, if we turn socialist in this country and Democrats win and a socialist appears, I'm heading out of here. I'm going somewhere else. I'm not staying in this country, because I just don't think it's worth it. But I'll stand behind Trump. I voted for Trump. I will stand behind him for the next election, and I think that all the stuff that they're doing I think it's either just hearsay or it's just something to push that if I can get him impeached before the next election, he won't be able to take office again.
All right. Thank you, Debbie. First off, what do you want to say as far as the where the whistleblower...
Well, my understanding is the whistleblower didn't actually listen in on the conversation, that he saw the transcript. And in fact, as President Trump himself has said, there were lots of people listening in. He can't make a phone call without lots of people listening in. And that's how the transcript's prepared, and he knew that. So, I mean, he's not, this is the interesting thing about this is he's not saying I didn't do it. He's saying this is what I did and I don't think it's wrong. He's not, in a way, he's been very transparent, which I think has in some ways been very upsetting to some people, that he's so, at least as they would see it, clueless that what he's doing is in his personal interest, not in the national interest. But he has been, he knew that this was being listened into and he was being recorded. So I don't think that's the issue. So.
Yeah, and I know Debbie shares a lot of same sentiment with a lot of people, right? As far as the idea.
Yeah, no, Trump. I mean, what this illustrates is that Trump supporters have not found this to be something that shocks them in any sense. They're more than happy to continue to support him, and that I do think this is a difference, for example, from the Nixon impeachment. I do think some of the Nixon supporters at the time were shocked when they found out the scale of what he was up to, and that did cause the impeachment thing to move forward.
And as far as what Debbie says about patriotism, I think it's safe to say a lot of people who aren't from the country as well have even bigger, bigger support for the country than.
Yeah. No, I actually think some of our most patriotic citizens were born elsewhere, of course, because they can appreciate the choice they've made for American citizenship.
Yeah. All right, we'll take some of your calls, more of your calls. I know some people are waiting on the line to get their questions answered, so make sure to stay tuned. Morning Line after the break.